Many people, traditionally Democrats, don't understand why other people support Donald Trump. And they wonder, with all the accusation, all the stupid things that Donald Trump gives fuel to the hatred that he has. Now I'm switching on this video. On the past two videos, I've been bragging a little bit about my issues with Trump, and now I'm going back to legacy media. Legacy media and the issues why people see Trump as a representative of their disgust for traditional media. Now it's already official that RFK dropped his campaign and he will be endorsing Donald Trump. On an interesting thing, he's actually leaving his name on non-battlegrounds. That way he will be able to collect enough votes. Hopefully, that way he can have his own party in the future. But also in the swing states, he's removing his name. That way he will get the support. He will be able to help Trump. Because as RFK sees, as I see, there is a problem with the Democrat Party. I think the Democrat Party have been playing a goofy game, paying attention to non-important things, the whole diversity nonsense. Because one thing is wanting to include everyone, and one thing is forcing things. There's I can make a whole video about my complaints with that, but the main issue is, what is the first thing that legacy media did to RFK after he announced his support and endorsed for Donald Trump? They started talking about back in his 20s. Keep in mind, RFK is what, 65, 70 years old? Back in his 20s, he sold cocaine. Like, you can understand that, like, anyone who reads that as a independent would be like, what kind of nonsense is this? That you post an article, many news media, especially left-wing media, talking about that he did cocaine when he was 20. It's been 50 years old. Who cares? Who cares? Imagine you're 70 and people are trying to hold you down for something that happened in your 20s. I mean, he wasn't convicted as far as I know. I'm definitely going to check that information. But it is irrelevant to the issues of the Democrat today. It's like comparing, it's like saying, oh, if you voted for Obama, you should vote for Kamala. No, it is not the same. I voted for Obama back in 2012. I voted for Hillary in 2016. I mean, I honestly regret voting for Hillary. I will say that. But the party is not the same. The party has become the party of the rich. Because people say, oh, the Democrats are not the party of the rich. Yes, all big media, all big organizations mostly support the Democrat Party. And they want to see or portray as such a champion of liberty. And then you also see people like Kamala talking about equity, which is socialist talk. And then you got Waltz talking nonsense about limiting the First Amendment because of misinformation. Buddy, who is going to dictate if something is misinformation or hate speech? The government? The government that has the interest of oppressing their people, not to have a different opinion to the government. No, how did that go during the COVID years? I don't think that was a good look. I don't think that was a good look. What legacy media did, what they tried to force everyone to get the vaccine, whether you wanted to get it or not. I believe that should have been an independent decision, as it always has been. People who didn't want to take previous vaccines, they didn't take it. They maybe went to private schools, and people who wanted to take it, like myself, I took it, and it's not a problem. But my issue is when you're trying to force people in a certain way. And let me show you here some of the stuff that the media has been doing, especially with the RFK articles, and how everyone just jumped on board calling about the Kamala campaign being about joy, and this about the joy that campaign is bringing without a single policy. You can see the big difference it is right now with the current state of the left versus the right. Watch more. I mean, there's definitely ignorant people on both sides. Of course, it's a big country. But when you see what many people want to vote for Kamala, I just want a black woman to be president. What kind of policy is that? Imagine you're picking a coach for your football team, and you're like, man, you know what? I just want a black man to be the coach. I'm like, no, dude. What are the strengths of this coach? What are the good things that this coach will bring that you don't currently have? And the other problem is, Kamala, you're in office. Stop promising and get to do. Start doing things. Because you're talking about, oh, if I'm elected, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do what? You are the vice president. Well, I mean, technically, you could say you're the president because since the convention and before Biden endorsed Kamala, did anyone see Biden? It happened like back in 2020 where he was just hiding in the basement. He didn't talk to anyone. He made a speech with 5 people every now and then he got 80 million votes. The point that I'm trying to make is there's a big distrust in legacy media and they're not addressing it and they're being too obvious. It seems like a football team, as I mentioned many times. It is They should be calling out both sides. They should not be partisan. Once you become partisan, then you refuse to call out their nonsense. That's why many people sometimes when they see Bill Maher calling out the left, rightly so, they're like, hey, look, at least this guy's being consistent, and that's what people want to see.